Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today's video is going to be about getting reactivated for Amazon Flex if you happen to get deactivated. There are quite a few things that can get you deactivated as a driver, and so before I hit this process, it's actually a very easy process to attempt to get reactivated. I'll dive into that later. First of all, I kind of want to go over the things that can get you deactivated because there's quite a fun list here of things that could potentially get you either a temporary ban or a permanent deactivation. And most of these things are going to hit you with a temp ban first. It's kind of a soft deactivation. You just can't deliver for a while. And then there's just a few things that if you repeatedly do are pretty much guaranteed to get you deactivated. So let's look at the temp ban stuff. And a couple of these are customers not getting their orders on time, customers not getting their deliveries at all, working for someone else when you're picking up an Amazon Flex block. So if you're scheduled to work for a certain amount of hours and then you're taking deliveries on, let's say, Grubhub, Postmates, or DoorDash at the same time, this can get you deactivated. And Amazon Flex knows quite a bit about what's going on when you're running their app. So just go ahead and avoid this. It's safe to say that if you're doing instant offers, you can probably run other apps. I personally do that and have had no issues. But if you're taking a full block, make sure to just be working for Amazon Flex during that time because you are getting paid for that time in full. Another thing on here that kind of caught me by surprise that can get you deactivated is hitting that button that says I'm here but the GPS is not showing it. Abusing that, doing it too much, is a potential reason for a temporary block. I've been doing this a lot lately, so I'm going to try and scale that back. And then there's a few other things on the list here that I've written down. One other thing is if you have leftover packages at the end of a DC block and you don't return those to the warehouse on time, this can potentially get you a temporary deactivation. So make sure to return those, within like the next 24 hours. I don't always like driving straight back to the warehouse. Sometimes I keep them overnight and just try and pick up a block the next day and return them that way. That way, I'm not using too much extra gas in the process. The last thing that can get you a temporary block is by using third-party block grabber apps to try and pick up more blocks. It's definitely tempting because it's hard to get the good blocks, but Amazon Flex, like I said earlier, does know a lot about what you're doing when you're using their app, and they can kind of tell when you're using a block grabber most of the time. So kind of avoid this for the, just to be safe that you're not going to get a temp block. And then, now that we've covered the temp block stuff, let's look at how to get permanently deactivated. And so there's just two big things on here, and those are missing shifts that you've scheduled with Amazon Flex and showing up late to shifts. Do this too many times, your reliability rating will drop, and if you go past a certain threshold, you basically just get deactivated. So I try and keep my reliability rating above 90 to 95%, and you get a weekly email with an Amazon Flex summary that kind of goes over everything from how many packages you delivered out of your total deliveries and your on-time deliveries, and then that calculates out to a reliability rating. I've never had mine drop below 90%, but I've definitely been close. So I always try and monitor this, and there's no actual clear threshold to where you get deactivated, but stay in the upper 90s and keep yourself feeling safe and secure that you're going to have a job tomorrow. It's also not clearly stated, but it's highly likely that temporary deactivation reasons can get you a permanent deactivation if you overuse them. So if you get temporary bans for something and then you keep doing that, that could definitely lead to a permanent deactivation. And a few other things that I have actually gotten in trouble for are, I actually had a customer complain about me, and this happened once. I'm kind of embarrassed about it, but it was a really frustrating delivery when I was doing a commercial block. I had a ton of packages downtown Seattle, and there's nowhere to park. I've had multiple parking tickets, so I was already, kind of on edge for that. And then this address, I was just given the wrong address, and the building wasn't really labeled. So I actually looked up the building phone number, called them, was talking to one of the hosts, and they gave me another wrong address. So I was frustrated, complained to them, and then they complained to Amazon. I actually got an email about this, and that's only happened to me once. And now going forward, I'm very careful about my customer service and also my attitude when I'm talking to customer service, because a lot of times you call them up when you're frustrated and you don't want to pass on that frustration because they can also have an impact of your profile as an Amazon Flex driver. They can definitely make some adjustments if you're not communicating effectively and in a friendly manner. So just make sure to be on your A game when you're talking to these people. So the reactivation process is fairly simple. If you get a temporary deactivation, you're putting a timeout basically. You got to wait that one out. There's not a whole lot you can do there. A permanent deactivation, what's likely going to happen is you're going to get sent an email from Amazon Flex support notifying you that you were deactivated, and what you want to do is you want to respond to that. There's kind of a form that you can fill out and basically plead your case. And the best way to go about this is just to acknowledge what your faults were, and then kind of go into your history as an Amazon Flex driver, what you've put into it and how you want to change going forward. Try to make a human connection here, because there is going to be a real person reading this, and that's kind of big in this negotiation, is making them see that you're a real person, not getting angry. You probably want to take some time to think this over before you write the email, and just do your best to convince them to give you a second shot, because at the end of the day, Amazon Flex doesn't need more drivers most of the time. There's a long waiting list to get on. A lot of people want this gig, so they don't have to give you your job back. Getting angry is not the right move here. You want to just be calm, collected, and very straightforward about what you did wrong. Convince them that you can do a better job going forward, and that is your best shot. So when you get this email from Amazon Flex, you have 10 days to respond. Make sure to do it quickly. Take a little bit of time to think it over, but get that done within 10 days. And then they have 3 weeks to get back to you and let you know if you are reactivated and can, continue driving for Amazon Flex further from this point. And so, most likely you're going to get that email from Amazon Flex notifying you of the deactivation, but you can also reach out to them through a separate reactivation email hotline, and I'm going to leave that email right here down below so you can check that out and use this if you don't see the deactivation email, or it somehow gets lost or confused. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any crazy weird deactivation stories, go ahead and share them down below, mostly so that I can enjoy them, but also so that we can get some perspective on things that get you deactivated. And if you know of any other reasons, also please leave a comment down below, because there's a lot of reasons out there, some of them which I might not have covered, so it's always good to have a further perspective from you guys. If you guys liked this video, if it was helpful, go ahead and hit that like button and show me a little bit of love.